What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another video. It seems like we are getting hit after hit with these releases. October was absolutely insane. Spider-Man 2, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Now we have Alan Wake 2, and just playing all these games back to back to back has just been absolutely crazy. So in this video, I'm going to get into why I think Alan Wake 2 is honestly my biggest surprise of the year. Now, I really enjoyed Alan Wake. I really enjoyed Control. So I was excited for Alan Wake 2. I didn't quite expect it to hit these highs, but it absolutely does. So let's start with Alan Wake. It was a game I really enjoyed when it released. I had a great time with it. Control, though, really put Remedy on the map in my opinion. It was an absolutely incredible time. Remedy, the devs behind Alan Wake and Control, have created such an interesting universe with incredible and complex characters, and Alan Wake 2 is no different in that sense. In fact, I think it takes things up a notch or two, and I want to look at this kind of as Alan Wake 2 is this isolated game. We're not going to be diving too deep into the comparisons of Alan Wake and Control. We're just going to look at what Alan Wake 2 does really well. And I've always really wanted a detective game that makes you feel like an actual detective solving crimes, and Alan Wake 2 really manages to capture this feeling right from the get-go. It's got mystery, murder, intrigue, and really high-octane horror elements. The stakes are high, and you can feel it throughout. The moment-to-moment gameplay may not hit the highs of Control, for example, but Alan Wake 2 seems more focused on story, characters, and world building than moment-to-moment combat, and I'm all here for it. Coming off of Spider-Man and Phantom Liberty, it's really nice to have something that is a completely different feel and pace. Don't get me wrong though, Alan Wake 2 respects your time, and I'm absolutely never bored at all and truly intrigued to see what's around the corner. Some really interesting mechanics are at play here, and one of my favorites is definitely the mind space and how the game handles the solving of crimes and evaluating the story leading up to each big moment. Taking different parts of the case and mapping them out in a way that makes sense of a sometimes overly complex story. There is a lot going on here, and the case board, the profiling, and other ways of navigating the variety of information make for a great way to follow what's going on, come to your own conclusions, and even maybe come up with different things that maybe you still have yet to encounter. This is something Alan Wake 2 is really good at. It maps out just enough of the story for you to follow it and make your own evaluations about why things are happening and where the story is going next. Now, I mentioned earlier that the moment-to-moment combat didn't seem to be the main focus, but I'm going to get into a little bit of what you could expect here. It is very similar to the original Alan Wake in that you use the light to break the darkness and start shooting. Alan Wake 2 is survival horror at its best. Every encounter feels significant. There's a bit of a skill test of sorts toward the beginning that provides some challenge and heavy tension. It reminds me of the old Resident Evil days, short on ammo, feeling outmatched, and the rewarding feeling of overcoming the challenge and coming out the other side of it. It's just right in Alan Wake 2. I do feel like there are some notes taken from the survival horror games of the past. You got the typical grab a fuse to repair a box, find a key to unlock a door, etc. I'm completely fine with this, but outside of these mechanics, the game is oozing with creativity, so I was a bit surprised to see mechanics like these almost entirely ripped straight out of past horror games. A minor gripe of sorts, but overall doesn't take away from the moment-to-moment fun. I also want to talk about the combination of live action cutscenes and in-game cutscenes. It's interesting to see and not something that's done very often in games. I do feel like if it's not executed properly, then it can take players out of the experience a bit. Watching a scene from a show in the middle of a game can be jarring and take a moment to adjust. But Alan Wake 2 finds creative ways to implement this. Like, you feel like there is a change up that warrants it or a justified reason for it that makes sense. It's really hard to explain, and I don't really want to get into any spoilers, but it's really quite smart in the way it's executed, and I really actually enjoy it. From the moment you jump in, Alan Wake 2 gives you the expectation that this is going to be a wild ride with a lot of twists and turns. If you're new to the Alan Wake universe, or this is your first time playing one of Remedy's games, you'll find yourself surprised at a number of turns this game takes. It's a long game. I'm 15 or so hours in, and I still have a long way to go. I have been taking my time with it, exploring different areas, understanding the cases, and how everything ties together. I'm really soaking in the story here. This is a surprise game of the year contender for me, and a game that will likely stick with me for a very long time. In fact, I find myself thinking about it when I'm not playing it, which is a testament to how these characters and the world really stick with you. And in a year when we've had games like Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Spider-Man 2, Mario Bros. Wonder, Baldur's Gate 3, Armored Core 6, Phantom Liberty, Resident Evil 4 Remake. I could go on and on and on. 2023 has been an absolutely crazy year for games, and to have Alan Wake 2 sitting among the best of them, I absolutely think it belongs there. It does so many interesting and creative things. Developers thought outside of the box and created new gameplay mechanics and new ways to absorb and experience this medium. Alan Wake 2 is a truly unique experience that should not be missed. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Stay tuned. I might give another video evaluating the story, maybe some spoilers after I finish it. Give this a try. I promise you, you won't regret it. In fact, I think you'll find it hard to put down. Let me know if you've been playing it in the comments below, and if so, how you feel about it. And until next time, I'm out.